Very good morning, dear students. Welcome to the biology class. Today's session, we are starting the new unit, Unit 14, Transportation in Plants and Circulation in Animals. Dear students, in this unit, as a learner, you are going to learn how the water and minerals move from soil to the plant, and also how the prepared food by the leaf is transported to various parts of the plant, and also you are going to learn role of osmosis, transpiration one by one. Let us get inside the lesson. Transportation in plants and circulation in animals. Students, multicellular organism possesses millions of cells in their body. We know that every cell needs constant supply of essential substances such as nutrients, oxygen to maintain the life and survival. We know food is the only source of energy, and every cell gets its energy by breakdown of glucose. Glucose is the simplest carbohydrate. Cells utilize this energy and govern various vital activities of life. However, it is very wondering that how water and nutrients absorbed by the roots are transported to the leaves. How food is prepared by the leaves carried to the other parts of the plant. Do you know how the water which reaches the top of tall plants, in spite of not having a circulatory system like animals? We have answer for this question. Water absorbed by the roots have to reach entire plant, and food synthesized by the leaves have to be distributed to all the parts of the plant. To understand this, we need to recall the previous unit, anatomy of the plants. We knew that water and minerals absorbed by the roots reach all parts of the plant through the xylem. Food is synthesized by the leaves, which is translocated to all parts of the plants through phloem. The bulk movement of substances through the vascular tissues such as xylem and phloem is called translocation. Xylem and phloem is called what? Translocation. There are so many questions we'll ask. How you wonder that the useful substances are transported to other cells and the toxic substances are removed? In larger organisms, transport of nutrients, salts, oxygen, hormones, and waste products around the body are performed by circulatory system. Circulatory system in animals helps to the circulation of fluids, blood, lymph, and the heart and blood vessels, which form the collecting and transporting the system. Let us start. Transport in plants. Transport of materials in and out of the cell is carried out by diffusion and active transport in plants. Let us start diffusion. Diffusion is nothing but movement of molecules and liquid from a region of its higher concentration to the lower concentration without utilizing energy. This is a passive process. This is a passive process. So diffusion is nothing but movement of molecules in liquid and solids from a region of higher concentration. See this picture? A drop of blue dye is added in a beaker containing water. Water is said to be the pure solvent. The dye is called concentrated substance or concentrated solution. The concentrated solution called a dye contains more solid molecules. So the movement of molecules in liquid and solids from a region of its higher concentration to the region of lower concentration without the utilization of energy is called diffusion, and this process is known as passive process. Once the diffusion is completely over, the molecules in higher concentration is evenly distributed in the medium. In cell, this is the process actually takes place. Next, see this picture. The molecules are moving from its higher concentration to the lower concentration. It is due to the random movement. The process which is passively occurs, which means no energy is needed for diffusion. Transport of materials in and out of the cells is carried out by diffusion and active transport in plants. So next, active transport. Active transport utilizes energy to pump molecules against the concentration gradient. So active transfer require energy. What energy? Energy is nothing but here ATP, which is produced during the respiration. So active transport utilizes energy to pump molecules against a concentration gradient. Active transport is carried out by membrane bounded proteins. Active transport is carried out by membrane bounded proteins. These proteins use energy to carry the substances across the plasma membrane or cell membrane. Hence, they are often called as pumps. These membrane-bound proteins are found outer layer of the plasma membrane or cell membrane, takes the substances inside the cell through the plasma membrane or across the plasma membrane using energy called ATP, adenosine triphosphate. These pumps can transport substances from its lower concentration to the higher concentration. So these substances across the cell membrane from its lower concentration to the higher concentration. Hence, it is called as uphill transport. So during the uphill transport, the substances move from outside of the cell to inside the cell, require metabolic energy ATP. Membrane bound proteins which carries substances inside the cell across the plasma membrane by using the metabolic energy. Next, osmosis. Osmosis. Dear students, you might have studied this term even in the lower standard. The term osmosis is nothing but movement of solvent molecules from its region of higher concentration of water, or else we used to say movement of solvent or water molecule from the region of higher concentration to the lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. You see this picture, the container is separated by a semi-permeable membrane. One side you can see more concentrated solution, another side you can see the pure water. Both the pure water and the highly concentrated solution is separated by semi-permeable membrane. Here the movement of solvent or water molecules from the region of higher concentration to the lower concentration through the semi-permeable membrane takes place. This process of osmosis is carried out till an equilibrium is reached. Till an equilibrium is reached. Osmosis is a passive movement of water. Osmosis is called passive movement of water or any other solvent molecule Once again, the definition of osmosis as follows. Osmosis is the movement of solvent or water molecules from the region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. The process of osmosis is carried out till an equilibrium is reached. Osmosis is a passive process or it's a passive movement of water or any other solvent molecule. Now let us continue. Plasmolysis. Plasmolysis, it occurs when water molecules come out from the cell and resulting in the shrinkage of cell membrane which is away from the cell wall. See this picture, the left side you can see a normal cell. The normal cell is placed in a highly concentration solution. Thereby the water present in the cell, it comes out. So at the beginning the cell membrane is move away from the cell wall. Later it's completely shrink and totally it's move away from the cell wall. So plasmolysis, it occurs when the water moves out of the cell, resulting in the shrinkage of cell membrane. You can see cell membrane shrinks here is maximum, now it's completely shrink. The protoplast and the cell membrane now it is at the center. Plasmolysis is very much useful. Plasmolysis is very much useful in many ways, especially in jams, jellies making industry, in which plasmolysis is commonly used. The next which we are going to see after the plasmolysis, imbibition. What is called imbibition? It's a type of diffusion. It's type of diffusion in which solid absorbs water and gets swelled up. For example, in your home, your mother used to soak raisins in water. Generally, it is nothing but dry grapes. When the dry grapes are placed in pure water, the dry grains absorb water and swollen up. So absorption of water by seeds and dry grapes is a very good example for the imbibition. If imbibition is not takes place, dear students, if imbibition is not takes place, seedlings would not have been able to emerge out from the soil. That's what we are soaking the seeds in water in overnight, allow them to germinate to produce radicle. So to promote the germination of seeds, the seeds must be imbibed in water. Seeds must be imbibed in water. So what is called imbibition? Imbibition is a type of diffusion in which a solid absorbs water and gets swelled up. Example, absorption of water which is taken out by absorption of water by seeds, dry seeds and dry grapes. In the coming class, we will continue the unit 14, in which root hair, the water absorbing unit, followed by pathway of water absorbed by roots. Thank you, dear students. Thank you very much.